What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. Okay, so I know I'm a couple days late on this, but I did want to go over my 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent town hall, which was on Monday, October 17th in the evening, at least here in the US. Now, for those who might be new to the channel or new to this series, every week I've been covering the town halls, and it is not a summary. There's a fantastic summary here, both written and video creators that put these together. So this is the official one, but I give a shout out to Rosie W, who usually does these, and then the NFT Gaming and Collectibles with Walking Keys and Gank. They usually do a video recap of the entire thing. So this is just my 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent town halls. 5 things that kind of caught my attention and I wanted to dig a little bit further into for you guys in these videos. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'll have my 5 here so you know exactly what we'll be talking about. Now, the first one, and this is probably the most interesting with Rooney right around the corner. So that is going to be, we'll be able to mint that in less than a week. And that is the fact that there are more potential. You know what? I'm sorry. We're gonna go out of order here. Let's do the Rooney date change first, okay? Because since we're talking about Rooney as it is, I think this would be a nice segue back into the first one. So the Rooney mint date for people who have a whitelist spot is going to be October 25th. That has not changed. Now, for everybody else that wants to get in, it looks like the Rooney general sale is going to be November 3rd. And then for anybody who won during the ARG competition that happened earlier this week, that may happen October 27th. So there's several dates here, but if you have a whitelist spot, which should be most folks from the original whitelist sale, where you had to spend like 100 vouchers, nothing has changed for you. Although, you know, you will not be able. My thought was that I wanted to like mint all of mine and then flip one immediately to try and recoup my cost. But I don't know if that's going to happen if the general sale doesn't launch. But if we can start selling on OpenSea, then that'll be kind of cool, October 25th, because then they'll be even more exclusive for an earlier time. But I'm sure people will want to wait to see what exactly is out there until November 3rd. But let's go back to that first topic now, which is more profile picture projects coming into the ecosystem. Now, Aggie talked very briefly about this, but did bring in a couple of interesting topics, such as if other profile, high profile NFT PFP projects, I know there's a lot in there, but if these projects wanted to come in and create cards within the game, they would have the option to do that. And it would almost be like an open invite where anybody could come in and do it. Now, what he did say was so that people aren't coming in and just trying to mint free stuff, which is going to happen. They want to make it so that there will be at least some kind of value added to the ecosystem when any type of collaboration happens. And keep in mind, this is still very much a collaboration. A PFP project just can't create something and then announce that they're going to do it. They have to work with the team so that the team can create the appropriate corresponding cards to those NFTs in the game. So, I don't know what the timeline for this is like. I don't know how it will be even implemented, but Rooney is obviously going to be the first of this kind of Ethereum collaboration, Ethereum bridge that we're doing. But there's a ton of projects and a ton of people in the space that if this is successful, and fingers crossed that it is successful for the team, we may see some other big projects potentially come in or be interested in creating cards. Now, again, I always look at cards. I tell you guys that cards, individual card types are deflationary, but cards as an asset class are incredibly deflationary. So the idea of there being thousands, tens of thousands of cards coming in for assets that I don't own, right? Because they would probably be corresponding with some kind of NFT project on Ethereum, maybe even Solana if they end up bridging out to Solana. It's going to be, there's a lot that could be coming in, but I like it because this is not targeting current players. This is targeting players or people outside of the game that may potentially want to come in and start playing more. Now, I just hope that all these cards that come in don't end up being super OP, right? And the way that I'm looking at Rooney right now, it doesn't seem very OP. In fact, I'm kind of underwhelmed with the stats. I think the rebirth ability is cool, but overall, I'm kind of underwhelmed with the stats. I don't think it's going to be a game changer in many ways. Now, there's going to be certain combos or certain things, like I think with Yasik, it might be awesome. But overall, if a lot of these other projects start coming in, that could be cool to bring in new players, new audiences. And the one thing that I did want to mention was that Aggie said maybe they would require these projects to stake a certain amount of SPS or pay, some kind of fee in SPS. So really adding at least something into the ecosystem rather than just coming in for not free mints, but free cards within the game that can be accessed. Now, what is the benefit for Splinterlands? That's very clear, right? We get to reach out to other audiences. They get to come in and create cards in the game, and for them it's just like they get this added benefit and utility added to their card, right? And from their perspective, they get the added benefit and utility, but it's also like there's a desire for them to want those cards or their NFTs to be more, or have like be more desired, I guess. So if you expose it to the Splinterlands community, you may get people who want to have that card in the game go out and buy the corresponding NFT on Ethereum just to stake it and do all of that. So I think it could be a very positive thing as long as it's done in a thoughtful way and without rushing into, just a land grab of all these projects coming in. But we're not even there yet. We're still doing the first kind of internal project, which is Rooney, and I'm excited for that to come next week, hopefully. And then, we'll see how things play out from there. But it is exciting when you think about all the collaborations that can be happening between some of the really big projects out there. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Okay, number 3, Brawl's SPS rewards are targeted right now for mid to late November. I'm just giving that date out to you guys because that is what was stated publicly here. But keep in mind, things have been stated publicly in the past and have either been super delayed or never launched, such as the airdrop potion, such as season-long rentals, such as a bunch. And I'm not trying to throw shade on the team. I just want people who, when you look at this date and it's just a soundbite, I just want there to be the context that this is where the estimate is at right now. And I know Cryptomancer is working hard to get it done. It sounds like a lot of the coding is already there or ready to go. And Cryptomancer during the town hall said he wants to start working on land as his next project. So clearly he's already thinking like what's next. So hopefully we do get that in mid to late November. But keep in mind, I mean, this was discussed back in August, I think, right? Like, or end of July when SPS Brawl rewards were talked about to go along with the ranked battle rewards. And I didn't think that we were going to get them at the same time, but I also didn't think that we'd get them 3 months apart, right? I thought, okay, we're going to get ranked battle rewards in August, and maybe we get the other one in September. And if not September, October's a busy month, but, we'll see. But here we are talking about mid to late November, and hopefully we do get that sooner rather than later, especially because going into Q4, I mean, we're in Q4 now. We're like halfway through the first month of Q4. There's not much else on the docket left, right? Like we had GLS and, the staking for that is all going to start soon. But, the GLS content will, as you'll see here, is probably going to start to separate more and more. I mean, I know they're covering GLS here, or GLG, I should say. But on the whole, I think unless there's they shouldn't be talking about this much here outside of the fact that SPS stakers are going to get an added benefit, which I believe is going live next week. So just a heads up on that. That'll be a little bonus. But on the whole, there's not much else happening. So I really hope that they can take this time to focus on things in game, land, brawls, rule sets, right? Just little things like that I think could help the overall user experience, not for new people, but for the people who are here and who have been here. Okay, number 4. Wow, we were ripping right through these. Okay, so there is going to be the first ever public ghost card tournament held on October 28th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be in 3 p.m. Eastern in the U.S. Now, this is going to be a Gold League Modern tournament. The tournament will be KYC required, and there are some kind of SPS rewards. I think it's 400 something SPS rewards for the top place. And so this is significant. I think this is a big thing. And for those of you who are not able to attend Splinterfest, I am excited for you to try it. Now, there is a buy-in fee of, I believe, 20 SPS, so it's not necessarily cheap, but I do think that it's a worthwhile experience. You don't got to try it this time around, but I don't know how often these will be happening. Now, there is a fine balance that the team needs to keep in mind as they really roll out the Splinterlands Open tournaments, which are the Ghost Card tournaments, and that is you don't want to devalue the cards. You still want there to be incentives to not just buy cards, but level them up. So you can see in conjunction with the other proposal that's being put out there. So you don't want to devalue the cards. You don't want to give people a disincentive to own them, but you do want to have these opportunities for people to come in, pay a little SPS or whatever, it ends up being, and feel like they are able to play at the highest levels and compete and really bring their meta, their strategy against the best of the best and see how it plays out. So I'm excited for this. I'm curious to see how it rolls out ultimately because, not rolls out, but how it plays out, I should say. And that's mainly because of the fact that we saw some unrecognized name or some new names that were winning at Splinterfest, and that was a small group of 300 people. Probably, I mean, there's 300 people there, but I think only 150 or so participated. So now you're going to be able to play from anywhere in the world, and I expect that tournament to be at least something that's highly participated in. And I will tell you this, I've said it on several live streams so far, but if you do well in the tournament, don't be surprised if you get guilds that are starting to look at you or recruit you or scout you. And I think that's an amazing thing. And I really hope that we can push forward with that more kind of team esports element in the future. So you can go ahead and register now. I'm trying to see if there's anything else for brawls that we can talk about. No, brawls tournaments, that's it. Okay, and then number 5, I guess speaking of brawls, and the final one that we have is Gladiator challenges are here. So you can now challenge any player in the game for fun. It's not a ranked battle, but in the same way that you could do ranked or challenges before, you can now challenge folks again, you can now challenge folks with the Gladiator cards. Now, I have not actually tested this out yet. I did play a game that had Gladiators as an option, but myself and the other player did not play Gladiator cards because it just didn't make sense. But to me, this is really important for guilds trying to do some kind of internal training. Or if you just want to improve your brawling overall, I think that this is a great way to go about it. And I just like the idea of Gladiator cards being a bigger part of the overall game meta. And the reason for that is because if you've noticed what they've talked about tower defense, and I guess not really GLG, but with tower defense specifically, it sounds as though the movement towards more account-bound or soul-bound specific things is going to be not a priority, but definitely a focus, right? And so if, Gladiator cards are your proof of time. It's your proof that you've been playing, that you've been participating in brawls, and, that was before. Now you can get it just by playing and earning chests, right? So over time, I think that that's going to be really important. And at the end of the day, in, 2 years or so from now, when somebody can come in and spend X amount of, thousands of dollars to max out a deck, they still won't have the Gladiator cards. And so I think that there's going to be a nice space for people who are investing, well, not investing, but yeah, investing time and energy into building up your Gladiator deck over time. And so, yeah, I mean, that's exciting to me. I highly recommend testing it out and getting more involved with your guilds. Or if you're not in a guild, consider joining one. There are definitely benefits. I know there are fees for a lot of guilds, but Song of the Phoenix, which is the guild that I've been running now just kind of casually. We don't charge any fees, and if you just want to come in, I think you get like a 2% bonus on your wins. So, there's opportunities and things like that where you can just go in, practice your brawling, and just earn more merits, earn more rewards through that way once SPS rewards go live. So that is all 5 things. So this was actually a fantastically, it wasn't as short as I thought it would be, but I'll just go ahead and share some of the eye candy with you guys. Got another Rooney wallpaper here. This is going to designate gold foil Rooney. So this is not going to be on the card itself. The card is going to look gold foil, but in the PFP version on Ethereum, if it has these gold foil corners, then that will mean that you have a gold foil Rooney. So I'm just looking forward to this. I think the whole generative art movement is interesting. Again, not interesting enough for me to participate, but with a project that I am fully involved in, like Splinterlands, I get the appeal now, and I want to have one. So I want to see how the mints go next week. The top Rooney traits that they talk about is headwear, head, body, weapon. All right, so they shared that, and then they did share a castle concept art, and very clearly with the concept designation here of what your castle would look like in Splinterlands if you have land that ends up revealing a castle. We're so far away from this. Like, this looks cool, but I also feel like Dolly, the AI thing, could have made it. Which I know. I'm so sorry to the art team. I don't mean to dismiss the incredible talent that we have there, but it's like I don't have a frame of reference or a context for this. So hold on, let me take this back because I feel bad. The art team is doing incredible work. The entire creative team, narrative, art, all of that, they're doing incredible work. This looks cool. I think the reason that I'm not so hyped on it is simply due to the fact that like land just feels so far away. So it's like, okay, like this looks cool. I wonder what, a common desert looks like. I wonder what a epic jungle looks like. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't wonder that much because it's so far down the road. Land phase 1 is going to be just revealing where on the land, where in Pretoria your land plot is, and you will trade in your claim for a deed or something like that. But I don't believe, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard conflicting things, and so I'm going to take the more conservative route here and say that I do not believe that you will know what your land will be able to give you. You won't be able to reveal or like, open the pack, so to speak, of your land at that point in time. That's going to be phase 2. And at this point, if we are pushing phase 1 to end of the year or early next year, I don't think we get phase 2 until like end of Q2, maybe even Q3 of next year. So it just feels so far away that like, yeah, throw us a bone, but this isn't even like, this doesn't even get me excited about land. I'm more excited about a lot of other things that are potentially coming to the game much sooner. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you're feeling about things overall. We're now a couple of weeks out of Splinterfest, so that that honeymoon feeling or whatever it is dying down. We're all getting back to reality and realizing that land is not anywhere closer. All right, I won't be a Debbie Downer anymore. No, there's still a lot of really exciting things going on with Splinterlands and by extension with GLG or GLS. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below and how you're feeling overall, and I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.